So we have started the Internet of Things. In that we have seen the meaning of internet and meaning of things. What are the things, right? What is the internet? So the introduction part we have seen, right? And we have seen some example of like IoT basic example, that is a home automation, right? And that we have seen like what is the things. Then we have seen the definition of Internet of Things, right? Then we have seen some of the characteristic of IoT system, right? We have discussed all of them in the detail, right? We have seen the application areas, right? So almost all the domain have the application of IoT, right? You can create the application in using IoT in all of the field. And we have seen also the modern day IoT applications, right? Like in smart cities, like in the disaster management, right? Then we have seen like OSI and TCP/IP model, right? IoT also have the layered architecture, right? So IoT stack we have seen. We have discussed all of the layer one by one, right? And we have seen the enabling technology, right? So with IoT you can use some of the technology, or depends on your requirement you should use this technology, right? So those are the technology like wireless sensor network, cloud computing, big data analytics, embedded system, right? Artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, right? So these all are the enabling technology. That we want to discuss in the detail, right? So for just information purpose. Uh, so then we reach to the IoT challenges, right? So some of the challenges I have listed here, like security, right? That is the most concern. We will talk about any application, right? And this IoT is using internet, so definitely this security is the, we can say, like main concern. Then the scalability, like how we can scale the IoT network, right? Like for example, whatever you have designed a system, right? So in that existing system, how you can expand that system, like in the both way, vertical direction and horizontal direction. So horizontal direction means the number of devices, how you can increase the number of IoT devices in your existing network. Also, sometimes according to a requirement, you need to increase the storage capability or the processing power of your network, right? So how you can increase that storage capability and processing power, right? So that is about the scalability. So that is also one challenge. Then the energy efficiency. So most of the IoT devices are like we will use in the mobile devices, right? So uh, continuously they are changing their position or their place. So we definitely need to use some of the power storage devices, right? Like battery. So how you can use them, how like devices need that power to continuously work. So how we can charge those battery, or how we can make the devices like they will use minimum power, right? So that is also one challenge. Then the bandwidth management. So here most of the IoT devices are work wirelessly, right? Whatever the data they are transferring, the way they are talking with each other, right? So in that they are using uh, wireless technology, right? So in that wireless technology, definitely we are using the radio frequency wave. So for that radio frequency wave, we have to use some dedicated frequency, right? It's not like we can use any of the frequency, right? Because uh, for that radio frequency we have the spectrum. So for in that spectrum we have divided the frequency range for different applications, right? So that bandwidth management, it is also one challenge in the IoT, right? Then we talk about the interfacing. So interfacing means we already discussed, right? So how we can connect two hardware with each other, right? So that interfacing, we can say like some of the devices are developed by some manufacturing company, right? So maybe they are using some different architecture. uh, so those devices are compatible with each other, right? uh, we can connect those hardware with each other, right? It is not always possible like one company will make all kind of devices like processing devices, uh, sensors, right? So that interfacing is also one challenge. Then interoperability. So the same thing, like the devices are using are developed with different architecture, right? So how we can make them compatible. Also maybe they are using different protocols, right? So how we can make them interoperable, right? How we can uh, make those technology like they can do the handshaking with each other, right? So that is also one challenge. Then the data storage. um, in data storage, like as we know, like in IoT application we try to make the IoT node or IoT device as small as possible, because of that they can use minimum power, right? So if we'll make the device small, or also in some application like in healthcare or biomedical, right? So some of the uh, sensor are in the scale of nanometer, right? So that much of small devices, and then also it's need the data storage capability, right? So how we can uh, deal with that, right? Some of your application your devices is very small, but whatever the data generated by the sensor are in the large amount. So how you can manage that data, right? So sometimes you need to use the clouds, right? Sometimes you can use the whatever the inbuilt storage, right? So that how you can deal with that. So that is also one challenge. Then we'll talk about the data. So data is like generating in huge amount, right? So how you will manage those data, right? In your application, like you have number of sensors, so all sensors are generating the data at the same time, right? So according to your requirement, what data you will use for your decision making, right? So all those things you have to deal, right? So that is data that will come in the data analytic, right? uh, then the complexity management. So definitely uh, whatever application you are generating, or whatever the network you are creating for IoT application, that will be in the complex environment, right? So how you will deal with that complexity. So that is also one challenge, right? Similar with the modeling and analysis, right? So how you make your IoT network, right? uh, so in your network, which kind of processor, which kind of controller you will use, which kind of cloud, is it necessary to use cloud or not, right? If you want to use the cloud, then uh, in market nowadays you will find the cloud provided by different companies, right? So which company you will prefer, right? So all those things you have to deal. So these are all are the challenges of IoT, right? So if we'll discuss in the detail, then the most important challenge, or the major challenge is the security or personal safety, right? So we know like number of IoT devices are gradually increasing, right? Every day, mm, some new IoT devices are added to internet, right? So the user data became more vulnerable to theft, right? Anybody can uh, access to your detail or your data, right? For example, in some of your application, we are doing the the activity like payment, right? Then that is like somebody can hack your device and they can uh, use the data. So poor security features can let attackers damage to whole network, and the rest of the devices could also become the vulnerable. Right? Also, the people's personal safety. Because personal safety is also the concern and challenge, right? Also, like some of the IoT devices we are implementing or using as a wearable, right? We will use those devices. We will wear on our body, right? So those devices should not harm anyway to our body, right? So that is also the challenge. We have to make those devices such a way. Then we will talk about the privacy. Then we know like when you will create a IoT network, that devices are connected to internet 24 by 7, right? So there is a chance like if you don't have the that much of good security, then somebody can track you, somebody can monitor you, right? Uh, right. So there is a threat on user data, right? And raise a question on the user privacy. So also like whenever you will create application, then you need to provide or you will make a system like whenever user first time they will use it, they will log in there. You will provide them like you are okay or you are ready to or you are ready to give the permission, like sometimes you need to use like GPS data, right? So how do we ensure that the data that is sent and collected from the user is with their permission or not, right? So this is also the challenge, privacy, right? Then the data extraction with the consistency from the complex environment, right? So it's about the complexity, right? uh, so this is also challenge to science and extract data from the complex environment, right? For example, if we'll talk about the variation in the temperature, right? Then it could not uh, damage the product, right? Like for example, you are using the temperature, means you are using your IoT device in some application, and in that application like uh, there is a frequent variation in the temperature, right? Then the temperature should not damage your device, right? So your network or your device or your system should be able to work in such complex system, right? For example, uh, like the application in the industry, like when you are dealing with the boilers, uh, and also like like the environment of the industry, right? Mostly whatever people are working there, right? They are the workers, so they are not the technical person, right? So they will not take care your system or take care your devices uh, that much way, right? So you have to consider all those things, uh, right? So this is also one challenge, right? Uh, Also, the data extraction and the storage in the cloud could be more challenging if the internet is not available, right? And some of your application, like wherever you want to use the IoT application, right? So you will place the your IoT devices, but there is not the internet. Then how you will deal with them, right? Or maybe the connectivity is poor. Like for example, you want to use some of the IoT application inside some remote location, in forest or in some in ocean or in some river, or for example in some farm, right? So maybe there will be the connectivity of internet is very poor, right? So how you deal with this kind of complex environment, right? So that is challenge. And we know, like, to uh, sense the data inside a room is a different thing to take the data from the open environment, right? Because in the environment you may have the atmospheric change, like the rainy, the fog condition, or maybe in the winter, uh, like the temperature variation is there in the environment, right? So that is also the challenge. Then if we talk about the connectivity, then we know, like, if you want to use the IoT network or IoT application in proper way, then definitely your all of your devices should have the good connectivity, right? It is not like in your network you have some 10 devices, and those devices, like, sometimes they are connected, sometimes they will lose the connection, right? So this is a serious challenge in the IoT. Uh, since the internet is itself a giant collection of network and the devices, and the IoT is a part of it, right? So requirement of wired and wireless connectivity is necessary, right? So depends on your application, right? You should use a wired network or wireless network, right? If, for example, in your application, like the distance between two devices is less, right? Then you can go for the wired network, right? Uh, or maybe your the distance between your devices is too large, right? At that time, like, wireless network will not work, because wireless network has the limitation of the distance, right? You can send the signal in some particular range only. So depends on your application, you should choose your that how you will connect the device. Also, like, if you are using the wireless technology, then as I told, like, the usage of the frequency or spectrum, right? It is also, you have to take care of that, right? There are the spectrum regulation to be followed based on the country, right? Also, uh, not only like worldwide, the frequency range are dedicated to different application, right? Also, like, country wise they have different regulation, right? So where you want to use your application, or where you are uh, implementing your IoT network, in which region or in which country, right? So based on that also you need to follow that frequency regulation, right? Is also the challenge, right? And if you talk about, then generally in IoT we are using the 2.4 gigahertz band, right? And the fire, if we talk about the power requirement, or energy efficient, or about the energy, right? Then we know, like, all the devices, all the electronics devices need power to work, right? And in IoT application, most of the devices are mobile or movable, so we definitely need to use the battery, right? Which we can charge, or we can carry, right? The size is very small. So now how we can say, like, the life of the battery, right? Even though we know, like, uh, we have the long lasting batteries that are economical, demand for the power is on rise. So we should use the battery, like, they can economical, right? They have the good life, right? So nowadays, like, because of once battery will discharge, right, you should charge it, right? So that is one kind of a hectic, or a hectic task. So people have started to use the renewable energy sources like solar, right, or wind. So once you will place your IoT devices at some place, and you will connect those devices with a system which will take which will charge the battery through the solar energy, right? So uh, so that is also one challenge, right? How you will implement such system, and if the power requirement are met appropriately, right, then IoT can be even more powerful, right? Also we will make the device, we will design the device, or we will make the circuit such a way like we will use as minimum as the energy, right? So we'll try to reduce the energy consumption, right? For that sometimes we'll use the some of the technique like sleeping mode, right? So people are also working on that. Whenever your device is not in the use, right, you will keep, or you will make the device in the sleep mode, increase the life of your battery. Then the complexity involved, so uh, like I like it needs a lot of different domain to integrate, right? uh, so according to the application also sometimes you need like data analytics or artificial intelligence or machine learning or deep learning, right? So you have to integrate all those technology with each other, right? So you can make a good system, and there is a very limited expertise available in the market, but the growth is very rapid, right? And whatever the toolkit software and hardware available, right, they are not in the, like they are not that much of, right? uh, so these are the application, these are the challenges of IoT, right? Last one is the storage, right? So as we discussed, like for storage you can use the inbuilt memory or you can use the cloud. So if you are using the cloud, then cloud is like nowadays, because of the like more number of user or large number of devices you will include in the IoT network, so cloud is becoming the mandatory, right? To store the data and to also like not only storage purpose, but using the cloud you can analyze the data, you can use the cloud for the processing also, right? So because of that cloud became the mandatory nowadays, right? So the challenge with respect to this aspect is uh, connect to the following points, like which could do we use, like private, public or hybrid? How do we identify the service provider? How much does it cost, right? So these are like we need to consider when we select the cloud, right? uh, or like, do we really need the cloud, right? Like if you do not need the cloud, then why to uh, waste the money on cloud, right? So this you have to consider. Then wireless sensor network we already discussed, right? So if you compare with the wireless sensor network with IoT, then we can say like wireless sensor network is a network of sensor or network of node, right? And this node have at least one sensor, right? Some of the node may have more than one sensor. So wireless sensor network only we can say like have the network of nodes, right, which have the sensor. So the main purpose or main the function of the wireless sensor network is to collect the data, right? And once they will collect the data, they will uh, coordinate the data or to send that data at particular location, right? Or it may be that local server or it may be the cloud, right? So the wireless sensor network is all about the collecting the data. But if we talk about the IoT, then IoT definitely connect the data, but along with that, it will do the processing. Right? It will do the processing. Once processing will happen, then based on the condition, based on the decision, some of the actuation will happen, some of the action will happen, right? So IoT network or IoT is, we can say, like more intelligent compared to the wireless sensor network. Then the protocol for IoT, right? So in IoT, like whenever you want to create the application, right, you need to follow some protocols. So if you like, there are many IoT protocols, but uh, if I list, right, that is based on the functionality, then you can see like we will need connectivity in IoT. So based on that connectivity, for connectivity purpose, right, we are using some of the protocol like 6LoWPAN, RPL. Then if we'll talk about to identification purpose, right, to identify particular devices or right or particular thing, then for identification application or identification functionality, we will use the EPC, UCode, IPv6, URI, right? So EPC is electronics product code, right? That we have discussed in RFID, right? Right. So RFID, we already discussed RFID, right? Radio frequency identification. So that RFID is also kind of IoT application, right? You can consider the RFID as a IoT system, right? Uh, we know like RFID we can use in the area of like small area, right? But once like whatever data you're collecting that area, and once you connect that uh, the data to some one of the node or devices, right, which will send the data in the internet, right, then you can say like it's a IoT. So RFID is a part of IoT, or you can say like it's a kind of IoT system, right? Then if you talk about the communication and transport, then for communication we know like we are using Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, uh, uh, right, LPWAN, right, low power wireless area network, right? So also we are using this RFID. RFID is also for radio frequency, right? It's also one kind of communication. Then NFC, near field communication, right? So these all are the communication protocol, right? So this Wi-Fi we are using, it's for us it's kind of a term, but actually it's a protocol, right? uh, so some of the protocol I have listed here, right? It is not like only these are the protocols we are using in IoT, right? Then if we'll talk about the for discovery purpose or discovery functionality, then there are like protocols, physical web, MDNS, DNS-SD, right? Uh, then if we'll talk about the data protocols, right? So this data protocol we'll discuss in the detail. Right? This protocol are like most popular, right? So the data protocols like MQTT, right, message queue telemetry transport, then COAP, constraint application protocol, then AMQP, WebSocket, Node, right? So these are the data protocols. Then for the device management, we are using some protocol like TR069, OMADM, right? Then for semantic functionality, we are using JSON LD, web thing model, right? Uh, if we'll have some multi-layer framework, then we are using LJN, IoTVT, Wave, HomeKit, right? So this is the list or some of the IoT uh, protocols, right? Based on the functionality. So let's start with the messaging protocol. So these messaging protocols are very important for transfer of the data, right, in the terms of the message. So using these protocols, we are transferring data from one device to another device in the form of message, right? Uh, so we can say they are the useful for send and receive of message to or from the cloud in IoT device. Also, like not only between two devices, but we will transfer data to the cloud, and from the cloud we can access the data, right, in the form of message. So uh, in that we, right, so these message protocols, right, here I have listed three protocol: MQTT, message queuing, telemetry transport, constraint application protocol, uh, and the extensive messaging presence protocol, XMPP, right? So MQTT, COAP, and XMPP, right? So these three are the messaging protocol. So why we call it messaging protocol? Because this in this protocol we are transferring the data in the form of message, right? So let's discuss one by one. So we will talk about the first MQTT. So it's message queuing telemetry transport. This protocol is ISO standard, and that standard is ISO IEC PRF 20922, right? And this protocol is based on the publish subscribe model, right? So what is publish subscribe model, that we will see uh, in, when we discuss this protocol in detail, right? So this is about introduction. So but right now for your information, it's a publish subscribe model, right? So what is that, we'll see. And this protocol is a lightweight messaging protocol, right? Which will use with the TCP/IP protocol, or which will take the help of the TCP/IP protocol, right? So what does mean by the lightweight? So lightweight means it need less resources, right? The resources in the term of the hardware, or in the term of, we can say, like whatever architecture, right? So in that it needs less resources, and that's why it's called as a lightweight. This MQTT protocol was introduced by IBM in some 1999, right? And after that the protocol is standardized by one company, Oasis, right, in 2013. And mainly this protocol is designed, right, to provide the connectivity between the two sides. At one side we can consider the application and middleware, and the second side we will consider the network and the communication, right? So it's a kind of a bridge between connectivity between this application middleware and the network and communication. Right, so we know, like in IoT we have the biggest challenge of resource constraint, right? So that's why most of the application prefer the lightweight protocol, right? And this MQTT is, because of that reason MQTT is widely used, right? Because it's a lightweight protocol, right? And as I told, lightweight means it can work with the minimum resources, right? Does not require any specific hardware architecture or additional resources, right? Then in MQTT protocol include mainly three types of component, right? So if you use MQTT protocol in your application, then in your application, in your network, you have mainly three types of devices, right? One is the publisher, one is the subscriber, and the third one is the broker, right? So whatever devices in your network, whatever thing you are using in your network, right, those devices may be publisher, it may be subscriber, it may be broker, right? Generally, in your network, you have only single broker most of the application, right? But you have more than one subscriber and publisher, right? And sometimes same node or same device can work as a publisher, it can work as a subscriber, right? So from name, like publisher and subscriber, you know, like publisher means, yeah, you will publisher means like you will publish some paper. So what you are doing, whatever you have, the information you are sharing with the others, right? So publisher means you send data to all in the network, right? So it's a uh, like the publishing task, right? So whenever some device will do such kind of activity, it is known as a publisher. So generally, like in the network, sensors will sense the data from the environment, and they will send it to the remaining devices in the network, right? So that's why generally publisher are the lightweight sensor. And then the subscriber, so subscriber means, like we know, like whenever you will go to some YouTube video, then they will tell you to subscribe their channel, right? So subscribe means once you will subscribe that channel, means whenever they will upload some data, right, you will get the notification. So here also, like subscriber means whenever a device, right, will subscribe some data, right, some kind of data, then they will continuously receive the update, right. So publisher is kind of a transmitter and the subscriber is kind of the receiver, right. So subscriber in your network are the devices, right, which are interested in some kind of sensor data. For example, in your network, in your application, you have three type of sensor, right, like temperature sensor, pressure sensor, and humidity sensor. Then some of the device in your network need only temperature data. So what they will do, they will only subscribe the temperature data. So every time there is a change in the temperature, right, that particular node only get the data, right. Whatever changes happen in pressure and humidity, right, they will not receive that data, right. So whatever data in which you are interested, based on that you need to subscribe the data, right. So that is the subscriber. Then the third one is the broker, which is the most important, right. So broker is nothing but the we know from its name, right, broker means middleman. So here also broker is the middle or the connection between the publisher and subscriber, right. So what is the task of the broker? It will classify the data, like once it will receive the data from the publisher, right, it will receive the data from all type of sensor, and once it has the data, right, the broker will decide like which node or which uh, device has subscribed which type of data. Like if a device subscribes only temperature data, then broker will send the only temperature data to that device, right. If some device or some has subscribed two type of data, temperature data and humidity data, then broker will send those two type of data to that particular device, right. So that way broker will manage all the thing, right. It's a middleman or middleware between the publisher and subscriber, right. uh, so uh, a message broker controls the publish subscribe messaging pattern, right. So what is this publish subscribe model? In this model, some of the device are publish the data, some of the device are receive the data. So those are the subscriber and transmitter are the publisher, right. So that's why this model is a publish subscribe type, right. And uh, what type of data you will want to subscribe, or what type of data particular device want to subscribe. For that, the broker will give a particular topic name to particular data, right. Like if the one sensor is the temperature sensor and is sending the data, its publisher is sending data of temperature to the broker, then broker will give the temperature data some name, right? And that is called topic. So for better understanding, it will give its name only T letter. Sometimes you can also give the temp, TMP, right. It's a short form of temperature as a topic name. Sometimes some people will give the full name temperature for temperature data, right. So whatever the name, whatever the word you want to use for particular type of data, that is known as a topic. So a topic to which, right, a client is a, generally client means the subscriber, right. So a topic to which a client is subscribed is updated in the form of the message and distributed by the message broker. So message broker will distribute the topic, the data by the name of topic to their client or subscriber, right. So this MQTT protocol is designed for the remote connections. If you have the limited bandwidth, then you can use your one of the main advantage of this protocol is it have the small code footprint, right. So for this protocol, you need to write the code and you have to upload in the microcontroller. So that code is too small, right. uh, I'll show some part of the code, right, for your information. So these are the advantage and for like why we use this protocol, right. So as I told, right, so MQTT works with the publish subscribe pattern or publish subscribe mode, right. So like here you will find the small some circle. At one side you will see the below the circle it is written the publisher, right? In the middle this pink one is the broker, right? And the right side you will see like who subscribe, right? So the work of the publisher is to send the data in the form of message to the broker, and broker will send or distribute that message, right, to their subscriber based on the topic subscribe, right? So the subscriber have subscribed the topic temperature, then it will broker will send the data uh, with the name or with the topic name temperature, right? Right. So you can see the one example of like I have at one side you have the temperature sensor, the middle you have broker, and the right side you have the laptop and one mobile device, right? So mobile device means mobile phone. So you can see like temperature sensor is continuously sensing the data, so the data is sending to the broker. So that's why you can say like temperature sensor is publishing or publish the data. So temperature sensor is a publisher, and you can see the data is the 30 degrees Celsius right now. So the data is sending to the broker. You can see like in the broker you will see like different color strip, right? So why that is shown in the picture. So it is showing like whatever the message, whatever the data is coming to the broker, right? That message will be arranged in the form of queue, right? So here you will see only one sensor, but for example in your network or in your application you may have the more than one sensor, right? So all the sensor and they sending the data, so those all data will arrange in the queue. So that's why you can see in their name uh, it is there, right? So message queuing telemetry transfer, right? So that queuing means the queue of the message. Then the right side you can see in the laptop and mobile device, right? So those two are receiving the temperature data. So that's why you can see like uh, 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 that black color arrow, right? It is showing that publish. So broker will publish the data to laptop and the mobile devices, right? And the data is 30 degrees Celsius. And to receive the data, right, why broker will send the data to this laptop and mobile devices? Because the laptop and mobile device will subscribe the data from the broker. So that's why you will see that red color arrow, right? In that it is written the subscribe. And how it these devices will subscribe? They will subscribe by the topic name. So broker will give some topic name to this temperature data, right? And based on that this laptop and mobile device will receive or subscribe that data, right? So here you can see like the example of same temperature, but here you can see like in your network you have three subscriber or three client or three device, right? Subscriber 1, subscriber 2 and subscriber 3. But you will see like subscriber 2 and subscriber 3, right? Those are receiving the temperature data. Subscriber 1 is not receiving. Why? Because it has not subscribed the topic name temperature, right? So here you can see like whatever the data sending by the sensor to the broker, right? We will give that data as a topic name temperature, right? So that here note that the only nodes which have the subscribe to this topic temperature, right, will only get this data. Other node will not get that data, right? Because they have not subscribed the topic name temperature, right? Uh, right. Then the question like is it is possible, right? Like one node can work as a publisher and a subscriber, or we can say like can publisher and subscriber interchange their role, right? So the answer is yes, right? It is possible like one same device can be the publisher, it can also be the subscriber, right? At same time or at the different time. uh, mm, right. So here you can see like one example is driverless car, right? So in driverless car, for example, you have the two thing, one is a car and the second thing is your like your laptop or some device, right? So the one data, right? So that we can say, like in your car you have GPS. So the GPS will show you that your current location, right? Now you want to send that current location to your some of your device, mobile or the PC, right? Then you will send the data to the MQTT broker. So here your car will work as a subscriber because it is sending the data, right? And you will give some the topic name like current location, right? Now on the other side, like your laptop or PC will want that data. So what they will do, they will subscribe that uh, current location topic name, right? So here your device will work as a subscriber, your laptop or PC will work as a subscriber, your car will work as a publisher, right? Now uh, and once your uh, once your laptop or PC get that location, now based on your location, your PC wants to send the command like at what direction car has to move. So now the publisher and the subscriber role will change. Your device will work as a publisher. It will publish the data of at in which direction car has to move. So that data it will send to the broker, right, in the form of the topic name, the direction, right. And the other side, car will receive the data. So it will work as a subscriber, right. So it will subscribe the topic name direction. So it will get the that data of direction and it will take the action like in which direction they have to move, right. So here you can see in this example, car can work as a publisher and subscriber. Same way your device, laptop or mobile will work as a subscriber and publisher, right. So the role of that publisher and subscriber can interchange, right. One device can work as subscriber as well as publisher, right. So publisher is generally like your mobile phone, some of your measuring devices, your sensors, right? Generally work as a publisher, right? Uh, and so those node in MQTT, right? We can say like it collects the information from sensor or other input devices in the case of publisher, right? And connects this to the messaging server known as a broker. So broker is generally one kind of a server, right? So they will send it, and a specific string or specific word we will use as a topic name, right. And based on that your subscribe will subscribe that topic name, and so they will get continuously that data, right. So you can see like subscriber will subscribe that data, right, in the form of topic name, right. uh, and we already seen like any node can work as a publisher as well as subscriber, okay. So you can see like for your information purpose, right, there is not like I will explain you this complete code, but if you see it's kind of a code which we can uh, use with the Arduino, right. Arduino software, it's openware, right. So you will use some ESP module, and that module you can implement such kind of code and you can use this protocol, right. So you can see like in the code, the from black sorry from red color I have written some words like uh, pops up client.h, right. So it's kind of a file which will support or which will use by code for this publish subscribe mode. Then you can see like MQTT server. So I have defined the server, and that server is nothing but a website, right, broker.mqtt dashboard.com, right. So that way you will define the server or your broker, right. Then you can see like a same this pops up client, right. So such kind of word or such kind of thing we are define the code, right. So to understand the code in the detail, right, but you can see right here also you can see like the topic is written, right, in some code line topic is written, right. So here we will give the topic name to some particular data type, right. So there the same topic you can use in the to subscribe that service, right, or subscribe the data. Here also you can see like the client dot subscribe. So here the client is subscribing some data, right, and whatever the name of the topic we written in the bracket, right. So this is how like some code, like in code also we are writing this broker, the subscriber, the topic name, right. uh, so here you can MQTT we can see like it's do not need any the addressing scheme like IP address, right, whatever the publisher or whatever the subscriber, right, we do not need any kind of such kind of address, right, or a typical networking scheme, right. Also the broker filter the message based on the subscribe topic, right. So the work of the broker is to filter the messages based on the subscribe topic, right. So it will send the data to particular those only client, those only subscriber who have subscribed the topic, right. uh, then the message will be circulated to respective subscribe only, right, not on, not all. And the topic name can be anything, right, any word, any in the string format, right. uh, so the best example, right, which will to we can say like it's work like MQTT, or how MQTT will work. If you want to explain, we want to give the example, right. So the best example is the television broadcast, right. So in television broadcast we know like once we will have the disconnection, right, or maybe you have a dish TV, right, then you only subscribe, you only watch those channel for the channel you have uh, uh, pay, right. So like for different channel there are different payment, right. For 1 month you have to pay some 20-50 rupees, right. So that way like in television also television broadcast or broadcaster station will broadcast all the channel, but your neighbor may will your neighbor may subscribe some, for example ESPN channel, and you are not subscribed, so they can watch, you can't watch, right. You both have the dish TV, right, or maybe you have the air, the TV like the Airtel or some other company, right. So here this broadcaster station is broadcasting all channel, right, but viewer can only see those channel for those they have subscribed, right. So here channel, if you compare with the MQTT, then for our MQTT the publisher or the censor are like the television broadcaster station, then uh, this topic name, if you want to compare that is like the channel name, right, and we are, right, you are the viewer, so viewer are the subscriber, right. So that way we can compare, right. So similar in MQTT, the publisher notes publish the data with the topic name, and the interested subscribers subscribe to the topic, right. Also not one point, like there can be multiple subscriber to the same topic means same type of data can subscribe by many of the client or many of the devices, right. And also like single subscriber can subscribe multiple topic, right. So one node can take data of temperature, can take data of humidity, can take data of pressure, right. So one subscriber can subscribe multiple topics, multiple data, and more, in your system you have the multiple subscriber which are subscribing the same topic, right. So this is about MQTT protocol, right. uh, one version of MQTT is SMQTT, so S for secure, right. So this secure MQTT is an extension of MQTT, uh, which use some encryption based algorithm, right. So generally it's for security purpose, right. So compared to MQTT, the secure MQTT version have more security, right. uh, So it's for your information, right? As MQTT. Then if we'll talk about the application, then uh, uh, this MQTT application can be used in the Facebook Messenger, right? So that kind of online chat application, right? So this kind of MQ Facebook Messenger, right? They're using MQTT. Then if we'll talk about the web services like Amazon Web Services, right? So use the Amazon IoT with MQTT. So these Amazon Web Services, whatever the web service provided by Amazon company, right? So they are using Amazon IoT with MQTT, right? And then this Microsoft Azure, right? IoT Hub, they are also use the MQTT as its main protocol for telemetry messaging. So this Microsoft Azure, then Amazon Web, right? So these all are providing the cloud, right? If you search, is Microsoft is providing the cloud services with the name Microsoft Azure, right? And the Amazon is providing the Amazon Web Service AWS, right? So these are the kind of the cloud servicing. So when you use the cloud, when you want to use the cloud, at that time you are sending some data to cloud, so that time also they are using this kind of protocol MQTT, and that's why this protocol is very popular, right? So this Amazon Web Service, AWS, then Microsoft Azure, right? So these are using this MQTT protocol for data transferring. The Everything IoT platform, right? It's also kind of a IoT platform. It is also use MQTT as a M2M protocol for millions of connected devices. So M2M means machine to machine. So it's a machine to machine is kind of like wireless sensor network, right? Machine to machine protocol or machine to machine technology, we just connect two machines only, right? Like it is fixed, like these two machines only need to do the communication, that is fixed to two device, right? Or sometimes two, three device or four device, right? So number of devices are very less, right? And that are fixed, and that sometimes their position also fixed, right? So for that we one platform is there, that is the Everything IoT platform. So that is also using this MQTT protocol, right? Then this Adafruit. So Adafruit is also one community, right? Which will provide the many code or many library for in Arduino in for IoT applications. So this Adafruit launched a free MQTT cloud, right? So this is also one kind of company, or we can say cloud. So they have launched a free MQTT cloud service for IoT experiment called Adafruit IO. So if you search on the Google Adafruit IO, you will find a website. So in that, using that website, uh, you can you can implement your IoT application, and at that time your broker, right? Whatever the broker you are generating, that broker is provided by this Adafruit company. So it's kind of a cloud service, right? And that is for free to use. So these are some applications or some company which are using this MQTT protocol, right, for their services, for their work, right? Uh, so this is we discuss, right? So next is scope. So we'll stop here, right? From from next lecture we'll see the scope protocol and some other protocol, right? So any question? Anybody have any question?